Hey folks, this is Vagrant. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. In the last video, we started to track down Ruby after talking to Titus and so forth. And as far as we know, she's hiding somewhere on this western coast, probably in this northern section. We've been brought over here to the... I need to move my mic. Why do I have it at such a stupid angle? Come up here. What are you doing? I can't see my bloody screen. I want it close to I want you inside my mouth, right? Is what I'm trying to do. But it's so close. I can't see the actual monitor. That's a little bit high. There we go. That's better. So we're here at Feld Electrical. We had a feeling this could be where it is. Working firearm. Anyways, so let's check this out.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D, a slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
So we've got a new option to step closer.
Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall, and the coastal breeze rustling and sighing in the remains of the edifice.
Edifice.
Feld Electrical. How ironic. All these dark rooms.
So of course, as I mentioned in the previous episode, I've done this little bit. This conversation I'm about to have with the building, essentially, is the last thing I did before my recording broke the other day.
Feld Electrical. You only know them as a small company that makes ink cartridges. Looks like they used to be big.
Ink cartridges is where all the bloody money is anyway.
There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first.
That's usually the only way forward. Why do I feel like I know this place?
Indeed. Somehow you knew it was here. An urban ruin gutted by looters that once used to consume money and dispense warmth and light. You felt it before when it rained in Martinez, and you felt the cold of the rain. The feeling persists. It has been in you ever since.
I really need to start writing again. Could Ruby be in there?
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there. Or in that boat shack. In that church tower, maybe.
Why single out this one building?
My shivers tell me to. Okay, is it going to do this again? No, there we go. Found the empty trap. Heard Lena's true story. Reconstructed the execution and death notification. So that's basically 3 different things. 2 of which are... 4 different things, but 2 of them are cryptid related. I really like this, and I was saying this last time, because it's like... You could do this without doing any of that stuff, obviously. These are side quests that are kind of tying into the main story to an extent. But by exploring and by experiencing the coast and by doing things around the coast and exploring and kind of immersing ourselves into this landscape, we have a better feeling for it. So our shivers are more accustomed to... Yeah. So we're going to see what we can do with the shivers. Which is the terrible one? It's this, isn't it? Yeah, okay. What am I doing with my life? Oh, right, yes, so shivers. We're looking for shivery clothing. I think we do have something. Shivers is purple. There we go. Got my lovely sexy t-shirt on. Can we do any better than that? Can we get... What are we on at the moment? Just +1 at the moment. I'm feeling shivery. I think we've got a jacket that does it. I think it's this one, actually. Yeah, there we go. It's minus +2. Okay, +3. We are feeling very shivery today. Let's rock it.
The once bright mural towers above. Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead. No rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down. The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb.
What was I even attempting to do here?
Trying to talk to the wind. The city. Whatever you thought would happen did not. And now you're just standing there in the pale of the morning. with your hands fallen to your side.
I feel like the game is personally lambasting me for trying something so stupid. Like, can I feel her presence inside the building?
Is trying to talk to the ceiling something you've done before? Is it in your secret repertoire? A trick for when you're out of ideas?
I mean, it could work. She could be anywhere. How do we find her?
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt, so we have an understanding of the geography, at least.
You loved it.
And then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too.
That's what I said. The crab man lives in the church. I don't think Ruby's going to be hiding out there.
Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village.
I'm going to put my point in reaction speed, which is what I said I did last time, and I feel like I should stick to that. After this, not really sure. We'll find out. What if that fails? What if we don't find her?
Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that.
He looks behind him at the dark red box crumbling across the chasm.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you. An adventure awaits. An adventure on the windswept urban coast. Buckle up and raise your collar. This search is going to be wet and cold. Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it.
It's just the writing is beautiful. Where does it go?
In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels, a whisper away.
What is happening?
She's down there.
Shivers, please. I don't need that. Actual jump scare. I think she's down there below this building.
Okay. Why?
The wind told me. We've looked everywhere else. Ever since I woke up, even before, I've been getting these strange cold spells. I mean, we haven't looked everywhere else, have we?
Right. How do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically.
There's a ladder there. I always forget this is ghosts.
Finally, my time to shine.
There's a ladder next to the sign. Perhaps we can climb it, enter through the roof.
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
Very proud of myself. I just remembered I've got a mute button on my XLR. Little quick tap, big old sneeze. No one is any the wiser. Ah, yeah.
There has to be a way to use brute force. Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe. Look around and find something to break if the ladder fails.
And then there's this, I don't know what it is, but there's a orange thing. This is where I got to. This is as far as I got to last time I played. So this is all new for me from this point forward. I still want to go on that date. We're going to do the date tonight. Oh, we have to talk to the pigs tonight as well. There's a lot to do. Let's go click this thing. I don't think I ever clicked it last time, so here we go.
An old pipe peeks out from beneath the rotten boards of the boardwalk. Could this be an alternative path into the felled building? A building like this must have multiple doors serving various functions. Perhaps a basement access.
I can't imagine Kitaragi's going to be super into the idea of crawling through the pipe. Let's look inside.
Your eyes slowly begin to adjust to the darkness inside the drainage pipe. The lieutenant looks over your shoulder.
What's in there?
A thin layer of snow gleams inside the pipe.
Okay, what else is in there?
As your eyes adjust, you see some trash. Crumpled up newspapers, cigarette butts. Someone has half-heartedly spray-painted skulls on the right side. And nothing. Broken glass from bottles thrown against the walls of the pipe. A syringe.
You can kind of see something underneath here. I don't know if that's just the texture of the background. Could we get into the Feld building through this pipe?
Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, it's highly unlikely, and not without risk to our health either. However, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance to the basement around... And it's right here, a maintenance door.
He points to a rusted metal double door to the right of the pipe, obscured by the reeds.
Oh yeah, big boy time. This needs you to put your back into it.
Okay. Physical instrument. It's currently -1, so obviously we can... I think it's a t-shirt, right? Yeah. No, that's actually plus. Okay, let's get hench. Well, first of all, what is ruining my physical instrument? The neck is a disaster, so let's pick a better scarf. Got a drama back. Okay, well that's a swing of 2, which is actually quite a large chance. But let's see if we've got anything else. We've got what? 1 from the t-shirt, 1 from the t-shirt. Come on, physical instrument. If I was a physical instrument, well, I am a physical instrument. It's a tank top as well. It's no different, really. I really like physical instrument things. I wish I'd saved that point now. I could have used it right here. Let's give it a go.
Behind the pipe.
58%? It's not bad.
Rusted shut and half sunken in sand.
Everyone cross your fingers. Yeah.
The metal doors are heavy and the flaking rust hurts your palms. But together with the lieutenant, you manage to slide them open just enough to squeeze in.
I bet as well. That was only +1, but I bet there's other things you can do to increase your chances on that.
Good work. Shall we?
Let's rock it. Here we go. Into the basement of the Feld building. I wonder what happens if you enter through the roof. Right, I'm just going to change back to my slightly more appropriate clothing. I've got like a set that I like to wear that I feel like covers the bases well, you know? So it's that. It makes a lovely noise. And it's my drama necktie. I think that might be my lot. Where's my authority tanking? This doesn't seem... Oh, right. Logic +3. I probably don't need logic +3. Oh, no, that's what I wanted. There we go. Cool. I think that's my default set going forward. Obviously, we change a lot, but... You should take out your flashlight. Thank you, game. That's a good point. Tools. You're a tool. Let's get rid of the tear bag, which has been useless for quite a while now. Although in here it's probably got some use. Very spooky. I love this bit where you got the flashlight out, because it does feel like proper David Fincher detective work, you know? Antiquated office furniture. Last century, maybe. The collapse nearly sealed the basement. One can barely squeeze by. Oh. Oh. Okay, let's go back down. Not done quite yet. It doesn't look like you can get out there at all. This overturned table is covered in orange mildew, crawling with something. Old file folders in the cart. Documents silvery with mould. That's quite large. A series of thick, dusty panes of glass.
This isn't just glass. These are old computation components.
These are computation components?
Yes, filament memories. From the time when wires were cast in glass. Slides with an inlaid nervous system.
I need a drink, so I'm going to mute myself and keep clicking things, but I'll shut up for a second.
The how was a closely guarded secret. Something that was locked in safes in human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know. The why is easy, because they hadn't come up with modern silicon-based systems yet. For vitreous cast filament memories, though, these seem incredibly advanced.
I'm having a bit of a dry mouth now. Hey Kim, look, old cybernetics.
So it is. I think it is used to form a single system, slotted in the wall.
This is all that remains of Feld R&D.
The rest of the building seems to have been picked clean.
Could this be part of the Feld playback experiment?
These? No. These are old filament memories. I hope you're not expecting to find that device here. You will be disappointed.
You never know, Kimmy. You never know. What have we got here? Cashola? Ooh. Ooh. I didn't know there was a suit jacket. That means I've got the trousers and I've got the jacket, but I don't have the I'm just missing the shirt, which I can never get. Oh, it looks so cute as well. Look, dressed for the occasion. It's good date attire, you know. We're gonna see. Maybe we can still get in the building. You never know. You never know. Okay, I'm just trying to click the thing. Oh, in the beam of the flashlight, a crevice in the wall. Hello. Very cool. What's this? Revolutionary's hat. +1 to Mazovian socioeconomics. That sounds like my kind of jazz. It's a stale fabric smelling dust. No one's slept here in months, maybe years. It's a what are they called? An Ashanka, that's it, with the Mazovian logo. Oh yeah.
This hat is so soft, so warm. It wraps around your head, and your mind tingles with all manner of socio-economic theory.
I feel like Hopper in Stranger Things season 4. This is an Ashanka, right? Pat the Hat.
Kraz Mazov would have worn this Ushanka. Mazov knew where to cook those thoughts. That's why it bears a Mazovian logo. Glory to the revolution, comrade. Whether you like it or not, wearing this hat has made you more communist.
Glory to the revolution, my friends. Get rid of that. I do want to wear it, but I can't justify +1 to economics, nationhood. Although maybe we could wear it and go talk to the Red Brothers again. Let's have a little look around here. Revolutionary propaganda on the bunk bed, ancient flyers and brochures. These pots and plates are full of dust and spider webs. The same slit window you saw from the outside.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. The plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait.
Brush the dust off first.
Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly.
How dare you?
Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand, grains sticking to the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder.
Look, Kim, it's Comrade Mazov.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
The lieutenant does not seem to share your enthusiasm.
A long time ago, how long?
Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing.
I wonder if this will be good for opening the bunker, because it may be related.
I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted.
What of all these secret weapon caches? Caches? Cache? Crash? Cache or cache? Attache. You wouldn't say attache case, you say attache case. What do I say? It's one of those really confusing things where I'm not sure what I say. Like, if you had to ask me, you'd have to ask me on the spot in like a few hours, and I'd be like, bam. I think cache. I mean cache.
We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in random neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
Could it be connected to the Mazov bust we found in the students' room?
Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff.
I don't think... See, again, this is one of those things where, like, oh, it's more content, but I don't think I should say to my detective partner that I should move into the basement of some old, discontinued building. Because someone has stopped through here recently.
You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
Ruby, 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 Ruby! Ma, 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 ma. Do you wanna do me? Is that the line? It's something like that. Anyway, footprints. Bootprints in the sand. One of the souls appears more worn than the other. They're heading over that way. Something in the air, an unnatural buzzing. The tunnel collapsed. You'll have to find another way around. Maybe the way that Ruby went. Footprints in the sand. The buzzing sound's getting louder.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
Lieutenant, do you feel something?
No. What do you mean?
I'm in pain. A ghost. A strange tingling.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
I saw them too. Footprints with the right sole worn smooth.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully.
What do you mean?
Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinaise. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
Huh. Uh-huh. We found out Everett's plan to take the harbour. Maybe we should tell Joyce about it.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinating information like this. It's dangerous, but...
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
We know what Joyce knows about the murder, but I may have other things to discuss with her.
Yes. There won't be time for that once things go down. Matter of fact, I don't think there's time for it now.
Still got a date with the pigs and my gun.
We absolutely cannot skip that appointment. Consider that 100% confirmed. I fear you'll need your gun for this.
His hand rests on his holster. It's not enough. You need a gun in your hand too. Your gun.
How bad do you think things could go?
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
Well, that's reassuring.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
What do you think is waiting for us there?
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Well, I said in the last video, or the video before that you'd never heard, so I don't actually know if this is helpful or not, but Union and cryptozoology business might end when you do. So I think that is a good sign that we need to leave and come back tomorrow. And we'll do the pigs thing first. Definitely sounds like the right take. So I was saying in the last video, though, I hope that if there is a point of no return, as it were, that the game will make such a thing clear to me. And it made it pretty clear. If I hadn't clicked on the little pop-up, we actually wouldn't have found out, seemingly. But I also don't have any bullets. Oh, I have 2 bullets. How do I have 2 bullets? I'm genuinely unsure how I have 2 bullets, but I'm very excited by the idea. Let's get rid of that. Huh. Okay, so we're probably gonna have to kill some time. I want to go see if we can get into that room that I was talking about earlier. I don't think we can, but I'm gonna give it a good old college try, and then we're gonna sit on a bench or something and kill some time for a little while. Can I always get in there? Oh right, yeah, it's the kid who was heartbreakingly adorable. Lillian, my love, who doesn't love me but should.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
I've been everywhere. I don't know what's going on with that. Right, okay. Well, we can fast travel. Now that I've learned how to bloody do it. It took until like near enough the end of the game for me to do it, but I have learned how to fast travel. Right, so we want to go this way. I'm not sure anything's going to come off this, but yeah. I think I want to talk to Joyce as well, who's obviously back in the other direction. I don't like Everett's plans. Everett's plans, I think, are overtly evil, so... Alright, this is the building I was on about.
The door has braved the elements for decades. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and so is the knocker, shaped like a lion's head. The royal lion, Guillaume's kitten. This knocker will last a lifetime and then some. The key stops midway in the lock. Something's blocking its path. Not a sound is coming from the apartment. The tenant's key is in the lock. The lieutenant looks first at the door, then back at you, then signals you to back off from the door.
I wonder if I go at night time, if we can catch him when he's not there. That's about all I've got as an idea for that. When am I seeing the pigs? 10 o'clock for the pigs. I don't know how to get this gun. Keep your eyes open and be patient. Interesting. Okay. Don't think I can do... Oh, boardwalk. Oh, we need to go back to the Feld building anyway. Because we didn't go upstairs. That we can't do because we're doing the pigs. Where is the pigs, by the way? Fishing village. So you see the boardwalk. Okay, cool. So we're going back there anyway. Yeah, I don't actually think there was anything... Well, let's go talk to Joyce. And then we're probably going to sit down or read a book. Or we're just going to kill some time until 10 o'clock at night. This is the first time in a very long time. This is actually the first time ever that I've done that, I think. I've had to kill maybe a few hours before, but I've never tried to kill, like, an entire day, essentially. I think we're very much in the end game. Like I said, the average playtime for this game is 20 hours-ish, and we're on 33, so... I'd like to think I've been moderately thorough. Moderately. Joycey, is she over here? We did come here a minute ago, but it's... Ah, there she is.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I've been dealing with Vagrant again.
Oh?
Ma'am, this whole thing is a takeover.
A takeover?
He has told me so in his own words. He's taking it. He'll also use the drug trade to finance the harbour.
Taking it?
She looks towards the colourful mountain... Colourful bloody hell. She looks towards the colourful mountain of crates like toy blocks rising above Martinez.
Green livery, changing into red, blot by blot. Like a cancer of the blood, metastasizing.
Man, such a nice metaphor.
Then we're talking about a war. Evrat needs to let me into the harbour at once. We need to talk about this.
He's ready for a war. They all are.
They most certainly are not. Crenell has 1,000 men on their payroll. The next batch will be a platoon of 20 men and a gunship.
I've seen the Union's forces. They are better organized than these mercenaries. They also have the support of the people of Revachol West. It will take more than Crenell to wipe them out. Wild Pines will need to send more and better equipped men. Make no mistake, ma'am. I am sure you have the money. The question is, how many years and how many lives are you willing to sacrifice?
What do you suggest I do?
Oh, okay. Jesus. Okay. Right, let's go through this. First, will this affect your decision-making process? Not the RCM's job to make these decisions. Workers should have the harbour. Cut off the snake's head. Everyone's pushing all this. It's a bluff. Call it. Have them open fire and see how long they last. Bring in everything you have and wipe them off the face of the earth. It's Apocalypse O'Clock. Time to commence the gloaming. I wish there was a disco option. Okay, let's start with number 1.
Everything affects the decision-making process, Detective.
Officer?
The look on the lieutenant's face conveys uncertainty. He doesn't even sound angry. This is difficult because my inclination as a human, my personal inclination is cut off the snake's head. Everyone's pushing all this. I think this is weird because I support the union in a more general sense, in that workers' rights and workers' pay, and that's all the great thing that people should be pushing and fighting for. But I don't approve of their overarching plan. I don't approve of this plan to take control of the harbour via fucking war. It's madness. You can't just quit. You can't just take over someone else's business because you don't like how much you're being paid. You leave and work somewhere else. Not that you shouldn't unionize and fight for better pay at the job you're at, don't get me wrong, but there's a large gap between unionization and strikes and stuff like that compared to... Because at the end of the day, it's all well good saying go and get another job, but it's actually not that easy to go and get another job, right? You see that as a complaint all the time, like, oh, just go work somewhere else, grumble. It's not that market. It's not a market where, for a lot of people, you can just walk into a job. If you've been a train driver, for example, for 20 years... and you're all getting underpaid and you're forming a union and trying to up your pay and stuff like that, and someone says, oh, just go work somewhere else. Where else are you going to go? Train driver is not like this skill set that you can just take and apply to something else. Maybe you could get a job, but you can only lose pay and that hurts your family, etc., etc. So it's fine to fight for better rights in that regard. However, there's a whole big old gap between that and forcefully, violently taking control of the company. That said, I am a police detective, and I think the police... It's funny, because in a way, my job is to stop violence as a police officer. Well, it bloody well should be anyway. The job should be prevention of violence, and therefore, giving her advice that I think would help that is probably actually a good idea. But on the other hand, police should be above politics. Politics shouldn't be a factor, and they shouldn't be taking sides and stuff like that. Your only job is to keep the law as best you can, and to keep everyone safe. So I think it's number 2.
Of course. Your job is to clean up after them. And it looks like there will be a lot of cleaning to be done in the near future.
What are you going to do?
What will I do?
She says, slowly looking around.
Did I ever tell you how they discovered this Isola? During our talks?
You said you would, one day.
It may be the only break we've ever caught as a species. The last one for 400 years.
Why?
The nations who colonized this Isola called theirs Muindi, the world. It was all they knew, all they thought would be. That there would be something more was a gamble, akin to another world, or life after death. The Pale was thought to be impregnable, perpetual. Irene la Navigateur, the Queen of Suren, sent 8 expeditions, one after the other, into the mass at the edge of the world. 5 of the crews did not return. 2 did, but had lost their minds.
What about number 8?
Each of those expeditions would have been led by an admiral. Sounds like a purge. Like she was purging her political rivals.
Sounds political.
There was no precedent for such an undertaking. People thought she was punishing the admirals, or had gone mad, or both. Until after years of trial and error, and the development of a strict psychological regime imitating the creation process of poetry.
Called Volta do Mar, or Return from the Sea.
Mars Volta.
The 8th expedition returned sane and intact. They told of a new continent of matter. They told the Queen and her counsellor, Dolores Day, that the Pale had begun to condense, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, slowly raining down until it formed a vast ocean.
The air is cold and scented with petrichor. There are rain circles on water all around. Humidity crawls up your back like a piano trill.
Put your hand in the rain. Which is just the best thing.
So does the lieutenant. His mouth is slightly open as he looks to the sky. The droplets feel warm, like spring rain.
This ocean?
The phenomenon has never again been encountered. For a time, the crew thought they were experiencing a hallucination. The mass hand proclaimed, "Lancielinde, Lancielinde," the signal to wake up. But they could not. They were sane and conscious, as islands began to appear on the horizon. There are 78,000 uninhabited islands in the Insulindian archipelago, officer. The freckled face of God.
She smiles.
You've thought it a million times.
After life, death after death. Life after the world, the Pale after the Pale, the world again.
A total shift in human comprehension of reality. On the second day, a great skua was shot down above the flagship Lizargique. The bird was preserved and brought back, along with pollen.
I wonder if that's why God likes to have stuffed birds behind the counter.
4 years later, the Queen's counsellor was proclaimed Her Innocence Dolores Day, the elected world spirit. The age of humanism, internationalism, and parliamentary rule followed. We were high.
That looks like an interesting one. The Insulindian Miracle. I like this one. Okay, we're going to grab that next level. You were reminded of a poem somewhere deep inside you, the translation of which you don't remember. Nulla sarà cambiato dalla luce, it begins. Colori cum grigio e marron. Tutti stampati uno sull'altro. It's very Italian. Trove un vuoto, una macchia bianca, gli altri guardarono. Che bella giornata, che bel tempo. Passani la tua titiava. You're reminded of it when you heard about the discovery of Insulende. But what does it mean and how do you know it by heart? Leaving us here.
On Caillou, the Pebble, the largest of the fertile, uninhabited islands of the northeast Insulindian archipelago. 4 centuries and 2 revolutions later.
So let me check I'm understanding what's going on here. So originally they all lived somewhere. I don't know where it was, but the Queen and Dolores Day all lived somewhere not in this group of islands. And there's this thing called the Pale, which I see in my head as like a myth, kind of like Skull Island. You know, it's like a mist or a fog that's kind of cloaking all these islands. So you don't really know what lies beyond it. And every time they send an expedition in there, they either disappear or they come back mad. Until finally someone managed to go through and they said the Pale is fading. And the Pale was raining down and formed the ocean, which then is this ocean here, which is then slinking between all these islands. And what we've got instead now is this humongous mass of 75,000 islands. And this one, the Pebble, is the largest of them. People settled here 400 years ago. And now this is the seat of civilization in the modern world. Is that correct? What was wrong with where they were? Now, why is it such a big deal that they found this new place? Maybe with the fact they had a queen and saints and stuff like that suggests that their civilization was at least moderately advanced. It's not like they were, cavemen, essentially. They were moderately advanced. So why was finding a bunch of islands such a revelation for humanity? I guess is why I don't get. The great skua was the first bird they saw.
The first living, autonomous organism. Proof of reality. It's the symbol of Insulinde, detective. The coat of arms of the suzerain and the wings on the crest of the commune.
I did break one.
In your defense, it is a nasty creature who plucks food from the throats of lesser birds. Yet much like Revachol, it is also magnificent and rare. Imagine the suzerain of seagulls.
And this was the last break we got.
The nations of Mundi proceeded to discover 5 more Isolae. Or they discovered us. All in the rush of the great inter-Islary reconnection. But these others weren't uninhabited. We had to kill people there. Wipe out indigenous populations. Gunboat economies. Or they came to do the same for us. Or had done to each other. But here, there was no one but the skua, the Liliat Sea, and the Blood Beach, and the River Esperance. It was the new world. The Mondials used it to amass the greatest concentration of wealth mankind has ever seen. Revachol, the suzerain.
So Mundi is where they used to live. And they discovered more, which they had to murder people, but this one was uninhabited. And the Mundials, assumedly the people from Mundi, got rid of it.
Revolution, poverty, and the mercurial rise of capitalism.
As always, what will you do?
I will surrender Terminal B to the Union.
Is that within your means?
She puts her hand in the rain. She's silent for a second.
We will see.
Ma'am, this may well unravel property law this side of the river. If that occurs, we may never see the end of this kind of confrontation. The next time there will be 2 strikes, then 4, then 100.
What happens will happen.
She takes the end in her rain-slick hand and starts untying the knot.
The age of capital has only begun. I will talk to my employers in person. We will amputate and cauterize Martinez. If you handle the situation on the ground.
The age of capital has only begun. I will talk to my employees in person. We will amputate and cauterize Martinez. So the idea being that they're going to give up Martinez, avoid this war, and assumedly clamp the hell down on all their other harbours. Got a good chance here, 92. Red check, though. If I let her go, this is a red check that if I don't do it now, it will fail. Like I won't get another chance. So I can't go change my gear. She generally avoids that term with her employers.
There are no employers. She's a member of the board. Probably a partner.
You are the Wild Pines. There are no employers.
You are the citizens' militia. There are no superiors.
I am.
You're wrong, detective. Next time, you should confer with those superiors before you go setting events in motion.
Despite his words, he's not really sure whether to be annoyed with you or not.
I knew I should have clicked that.
Events are already in motion. Whether your actions accelerated or momentarily retarded their progress, even the lieutenant cannot really say.
I mean, I don't feel like I have personally triggered something. Even after all this time, I still don't really understand who you are or what your angle is.
I have not deceived you. I told you exactly who I was. Rejoice Layton.
You're going now?
Yes, Mr. Clare has a 2-month head start. I can't let it grow any bigger. And I've exhausted all my options from here.
Understood.
Keep the peace, and I will keep my end of the bargain.
How far along is Cronell's investigation?
A confrontation is imminent. They have followed in your footsteps. As your investigation reaches a climax, so does theirs. They are your shadow. Arm yourselves. Armor yourselves. Protect their targets. Violence may be unavoidable, but we can limit the casualties.
When will they make their move and where?
Soon. I do not know precisely. They have cut off all communication, you see. They know I've been feeding you information. One last thing, Lieutenant Dubois. I've given the matter much thought and come to this conclusion. You're not an amnesiac. You're insane. I know, because I, too, am insane. I just hide my illness better. And I'm rich.
Isn't everybody a little insane?
No, Detective. No one's as insane as you.
Don't worry, madame. I am very sane.
What do you have?
I'm overexposed, baby. My travels take me through the Pale dozens of times a year. I've got the longing. And I've got it bad.
She would die to return to it. The Pale, the past, anything one can return to.
How do you keep your shit together?
The same strict psychological regimen the 8th Admiral developed when he crossed the Pale and discovered this Isola. The Volta do Mar. It's used by inter-Islary travelers and other troubled souls, even to this day.
One sec.
You could use a little of it yourself.
I've googled what the Pale is. I'm curious. The world of Elysium is distinct in it's not a single contiguous landmass, but consists of vast continents of matter islas surrounded by separative tissue. This tissue is called the Pale, and is the most dominant geological feature of the world, the intersolar mass at a ratio of 2 to 1 to matter. The phenomenon covers 72% of the known surface of Elysium, interfering with any attempt at orbital flight. Protruding in grey flares, prominences, and arching over sealers. The Occident Revachol Grad nations have been conducting experiments with weather balloons in the lower blah 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 blah. The Pale does not have a perceivable appearance. It's achromatic, odorless, and featureless, the enemy of matter and life. Therefore, it can only be measured through the matter that surrounds it. When matter borders the Pale, the resulting border is an uproar of matter evaporating into the Pale, considered a great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called porch collapse, a grey mist with cold vapour, known to house a specialised form of fungal microorganism. Huh. It's like... This is mad. This is much more, It's not... I don't think it's meant to be, paranormal per se. It reminds me a little bit of, It's very similar, actually, to Annihilation and the weird matter wall dimension crawlingness going on, with the forest edge. It's very similar. Goodbye, Joyce L. Messier. Goodbye, Rejoice Layton. That's what she just said her name is, right? Yeah. Rejoice Layton.
Watch out for yourselves. They will strike soon.
Secret task?
The lieutenant watches her boat grow smaller on the bay, its white sails fluttering. You wonder what Everard has to say about this. Slowly, the sails turn grey-blue as more oxygen gets between you.
Okay, let's grab... This is going to be our final one, potentially ever. I think we're going to learn it. And there's no negative as well, which is quite helpful. And it takes a while as well, which makes me positive that it's more useful. Okay, well, let me have a look at this task we just did. A secret task. A secret way to solve the deadlock is not easy, includes a lot of back and forth between two sides, but it's possible. Everything is always possible. I wonder if we can do this. Okay, let's hop over and talk to Everett. Oh, I need to be... There should be something on screen that tells you you're in fast travel. I'm just going to make sure that isn't. I'm not going crazy. Eh? No, there isn't. Meh. You have to remember I've got a map button, which I think I've pressed about 4 times in the entire game. Okay, let's go talk to Everett, who I feel like there's a quicker way to get to him that I'm, like, neglecting constantly, but it is what it is. It's heating up. We're in the end game, ladies and gentlemen. We really are. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm going to miss this game. It's wild. It really has been crazy. I'm going to miss it, but let's say it lasted another... I think maybe we've got a few hours left. If it lasted another, say, 15, I'd be at my edge. You know, I'd be pushing it a little bit. Games have to last a certain amount of time. I've lost that blue thing forever. Let's go talk to Everett, see what we can do. I mean, if they're willing to secede Terminal B, then surely we can avoid any war or drama, right? They've got what they wanted. Isn't that the end of it? Surely that's all that's needed. Surely? I wish I'd punched Merge ahead. All those years ago. Go talk to Everett on his clicky clacky typewriter.
So, the ship has sailed. Did you see it? I know you did. Tell me, what did it look like as it grew smaller and smaller when that mainsail dropped behind the horizon?
There's a mean little light in its eyes.
Did it look like a germ? Did it look like a piece of bacteria?
Germs aren't real.
His jaw is clenched, and his quadruple chin is quivering with hatred. This is decades of hatred speaking right now.
No, it looks like a boat sailing away from the coast. No need to be overly dramatic.
You wanted us to relay all this information to her.
That this is a takeover? That I want a war? God, I hope you also told her about the drug trade. They absolutely hate getting their hands dirty with that. You can kill 1 million people, but if you do something the police doesn't like, well, then you're out of the yacht club. Goodbye, you inhuman fuck.
Now I know why you've been so forthcoming.
No, Harry. What we have is real. We're working men. This here is real.
In there, under pillows of winter fat, his stress-ridden heart still beats furiously.
This was your plan all along, for me to relay this information to her.
Harry, I can't see into the future. We are all playing by ear on this planet. I had no idea she'd react so strongly.
But you did want me to relay info to her.
I did. I knew the negotiations would go better with police officers telling her horror stories from inside the harbour. It's scarier this way. Turns out it was a magnificent strategy. I never thought it'd so fundamentally fuck her up.
How do you know she left?
Harry, I bugged her cabin. I bugged her whole boat. I had cameras surveying her boat. Hell, I even wanted to bug that thermal cap. But my boys advised against it.
They must have done it while Joyce was busy questioning the locals.
You've been listening to our conversations all this time.
Not me personally. I had guys recording and processing this information for me.
Hardy boys.
Hell no! They'd fuck it up. They can't do anything right. I mean my real boys. My special task force boys.
Where are these boys?
They sure as hell aren't hanging out in the open with beers in their hands for the cops to question. They're pros, Mr. Kitsuragi.
You used me.
Harry, you made a conscious decision to relay that information to her. You could have kept it for yourself.
Use my intellectual... I don't really like any of these. She told me a beautiful story about the discovery of the Insulinde.
Of course she did. Rich people have the best stories about all the interesting things they've done and seen, all the beautiful places they've been to. It's just sentimentalism. She can afford to be sentimental, and she can afford to lose as well.
So what's going to happen now?
What was always going to happen? We take the harbour, and she fucks off to Ozon. uncorks a bottle of wine, calls her partners, and says they need to distance themselves from this nasty business before the big shit spinner splashes everyone. Only difference is the Union doesn't have to lose 2,000 men to machine gun fire.
Okay, so you've got to think about this as two separate stories going on. I was thinking, oh, well, this solves everything, but of course it doesn't, because we still have the problem of Laylee being murdered, and the people from, I can't remember the mercenary company, but the mercenaries are here investigating it, and they're still going to start a war with the Union. It's just going to be... It's not a war for the harbour anymore, it's a war for Laylee's murder. So we've solved the harbour problem. What I am curious about, can you solve it the other way? Can you get Everard to stop and to give up trying to take the harbour? I could have just told me, I would have been on board. Damn Everard, I was hoping I'd somehow get to fuck you over in the end, not the other way around. But I swore fealty to her. She was my beautiful lady. I have a bad taste in my mouth. You better make sure this ends up saving lives. Look, I just want to do police work. There we go.
Yes, of course, Harry. That's why you went to her and relayed every little thing I told you. You knew something. Something big. And you wanted to see what happens when you tell someone. So you told her. Anyone who's ever been close to power will tell you. Inside information is the sweetest thing in the world. It's better than money. It's better than pussy. Money only makes you special for some salesmen. Pussy only makes you special for yourself. Information makes you special for all mankind. It's the ticket to history.
Not sure how I feel about all that.
Right on, Harry. What you did was participate in history. When history calls, you have to pick up. You had no choice. None of us ever do. A hard disco cop like you, I knew you weren't one to resist temptation.
You know what, detective? I am going to leave this out of my report, and I suggest you leave it out of yours too.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Just look at the three of us. The three careless boyaderos. Good times, good times.
So what now?
Now there's a whole lot of work to do. For me and for you. I suppose there was a reason you came here, so let's get to it. What can I help my best friend and comrade with today?
Let me just see if there's any...
Certainly, Harry.
Oh, right.
Nothing brightens my day like brainstorming these things with you.
You mentioned a lawyer girl.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Wait, the girl by the whirling, who was keeping an eye on you. Is he talking about her?
Obviously.
Don't give him the pleasure.
Better not mention that.
Oh, and she also really likes gardening, I hear. In March? Strange. Anyway, let's move on.
These are obviously things we've already... These are from hours ago, and we just never had the conversation. So you may as well have it now. Tell me about Tights Hardy and the crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men. All 7 of them. Exemplary union members. Always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Separate one from the herd.
Which one of them's your least favourite?
Oh, that would definitely be Fat Angus. His feet smell from a city block away, and he's always having noisy stomach troubles. Horrible, revolting guy.
Let's say something happens to Fat Angus. Let's say a citizen's arrest.
You would die, Harry. You would die, and in the process start a bloody and completely unnecessary war between the Debarders Union and the Citizens Militia. Angus, his ever-growling stomach, and his smelly feet are all part of the Union. You have as much right to arrest him as I have to arrest your partner here. Actually, less. Because this is my hometown, my territory, and my backyard. You are a guest here, Harry. Please remember that. Oh, Harry. This is getting real grim, and there's no need for that. We are friends.
After I met these Hardys, can you ask them to cooperate with me? Again, this is something that we could have done a long time ago.
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
I bet that would have increased some of... You know, when I was trying to get information from Titus, I bet this would have been a plus to those checks. We did it anyway, of course, but this would be another way to buffer it even further.
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
Why?
I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
Needless to say, this is another move. Don't take it.
I don't need it. I only want you to help me with the Hardy Boys.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else? By all means, Harry. I'm always happy to very nice.
Well, safe to say, Everett kind of won, didn't he? Which makes me exceptionally sad. I'm really not happy about that whatsoever. Right, I wish there was a fast travel here, by the way. I feel like that's a missed opportunity, because this is really obnoxious, and it's quite a... This is more of a trek from Everett's office to the Whirling and Rags, which is where the next fast travel point is more of a trek than the fishing village to the church, which is the other fast travel distance. I would say it's probably even more of a trek than the Whirling and Rags to the fishing village. So it doesn't make sense that there isn't a fast travel point over here. It's very silly. Anyways. It's not that bad in reality, but whatever. Right, well, whew, lots did happen today. I'm really not happy that everyone has won the day. I wish we could have got the other result in a way. Oh, but I don't want to shut the union down. I think it's kind of making a point in a way that, you know, sometimes nobody wins. Or nobody you like wins, anyway.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Oh. How do I don't know what... I could go give him his jacket back. I don't really know what to do. I need to kill time, but Kitsuragi's here. I guess we can read, can't we? Tell you what, while we're here then, let's go buy a book. Alright, kid, anything new to say?
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
I am here for more books. I love her. Let's buy some books.
A small mountain of colourful board games.
They're games. I want books.
The display rack is... This is entirely, completely you. You have found the right books.
I want to buy The Man from Hyamdal and The Devil Woman.
It is a bestseller for a reason.
Do want it. I'm very excited about it. The front piece's old paperback features a muscle man in chains, kneeling before a salacious-looking woman on a regal seat. A bonfire lies between the throne and the man, casting shadows on the wall, and the shadow of the vixen's headdress looks like a pair of demonic horns. Titillating stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Titillating. Are you titillated? I feel you should all be titillated right now. Man, I really got to remember what was I going to do? Oh yeah, I'm going to talk to Idiot Doom Spiral. I'm just looking at my task list and seeing, is there anything we can get rid of, you know? I think it's this guy in the green.
Tequila Sunset.
Oh, here's your jacket.
My jacket?
Yeah, I cleaned it for you.
A look of consternation crosses the man's face. He looks at you, then at his bottle, then back at you.
What the fuck are you talking about, Tequila?
You're saying this isn't your jacket?
Foam? That's medium concept stuff. Not my style at all. I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe you should lay off the booze. It's fucking with your head.
It becomes abundantly clear to you how this man managed to lose his keys, business, friends, and girlfriend. I'm calling it. It's neurological.
I went through some dark shit to get this for you. Take the fucking jacket.
You know what? Fine. Maybe
I got
can
bonus
pawn it for
experience.
some booze.
Aye, good thinking.
Have you seen a red-haired woman named Ruby?
Can't really remember seeing any women after losing my keys.
It's a touchy topic. He hasn't got laid in ages. He really has no idea who this Ruby is, sire.
Another one gone. Let's go talk to Kuno. Oh, nothing now on Wednesday. Let's go talk to Kuno. Oh, well, we'll end the video, but next video, we're going to go talk to Kuno, and then we're going to try to pass some time. Probably by reading books, which hopefully works with Kitsuragi here. And then we will talk to the pigs. Get our gun back, hopefully. And then, into the basement. I mean, clearly we're nearly at the end. Just look at how little is just left, you know. And we can't do that, we can't do that, we can't do that. We can't do any of it, really, at this point in time. So, end game, folks. End game. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you lovely folks very soon. Cheers much as always. Bye-bye.